Hello guys and welcome to my Fuze operator guide. Now, Fuze is an operator for the Spetsnaz CTU and he's an attacker. Okay? Attacker. He comes equipped with a 6P41 light machine gun for just great stopping power, the ballistic shield to block incoming fire, and the AK-12, which is my preferred weapon of choice, and we'll get into that later on in this review. The P, MM, and GSH-18 are his secondaries, which the PMM has a greater stopping power, but the GSH has a higher ammo capacity. So if you are more of a trigger finger and you just want to just blast them, go with the GSH, and if you want a little bit more damage, choose the PMM. Now, secondary gadgets are the breaching charge and the stun grenade, both of which are good choices, and it really boils down to your playstyle. Use the breaching charges to create distractions for your cluster charges, or use the stun grenades to put your opponent off his edge and to just shoot him while he's blinded, which pretty self-explanatory. Now, his specialty is the cluster charge, which he gets 2 of. Now, he can attach these to anything that can be fully or partially destroyed. This means on certain maps, if it has a wood flooring and there's a basement or a lower level beneath it, he can place it and shoot through the planks. You won't be able to drop through it, but his cluster grenades will be able to shoot through them, which is a very, very important little tip. Now, these cluster charges, they launch 4 explosive projectiles through the surface you attach it to. Okay, these grenades are, I'm just gonna call them grenades because they just shoot out and explode. Okay, now they go into a seemingly random pattern. They just kind of shoot out, and where they explode, they explode. It's also important to note that the higher or lower you place a charge on a wall will affect its range and trajectory. If you place it higher, it's going to go further and have a higher trajectory, and if you place it lower, it's not going to go as far and it's going to have lower trajectory. Okay, you can also plant a normal breaching charge and a cluster grenade. You can have both of them planted at the same time, and you can detonate them simultaneously for maximum breaching impact. And also it scares the shit out of the enemy team. So, boom. Now remember, Fuze can use a shield if he wants to. I suggest against it. If you want to use the shoes, go for it. Shield, go for it if you want to use it, but I would not advise it. Okay, when he's using a 6P41 or the AK-12, he feels better and has longer range, and you can also shoot people from longer ranges. That's important to note. Now, you can't really do anything special with the shield. That's why I suggest against it. Blitz has his flash shield, which, you know, flashes people. Montaigne has his extendable shield, which means he can stand and be fully protected. But Fuze just doesn't do anything special with the shield. This is a normal shield, okay? Now, if you do want to use a shield, because at the end of the day it comes down to your playstyle, I do suggest stun grenades to make up for the low stopping power of his pistol. Because if an enemy is blinded, it's a lot easier to kill him with a pistol than if he's actively shooting back at you, or she, okay? Now, the AK-12 is my go-to weapon for Fuze, since he's more aggressive, okay? Now, the reason why I choose the AK-12 with Fuze is because it has great fire rate, it has really good range, and it can drop an enemy pretty quickly with its fire rate, and it has decent damage. Now, that being said, the 6P41 is a close second for me. It has good rate of fire, excellent stopping power, and a large magazine. It's not really too accurate, and you will have trouble taking down people at longer ranges, but if you want to just go in there and be able to stop people with only a few bullets, then the 6P41 light machine, that's for you, okay? Now, you also need to be careful with the cluster charge, okay? 'Cause, this is, you know, I'm talking about Fuze, I have to say this, okay? When you're using Fuze on a hostage rescue round, do not put a cluster charge in the room with the hostage. Don't even do it, because what's going to happen is you're going to detonate that cluster charge. Yeah, you might kill a few enemies, but you're also going to kill the hostage and lose the round. This has happened to me too many times to just be calm about it. It's fucking stupid. Stop using it, guys. If you see the hostage in the room, don't put a cluster charge on a wall or a floor that goes down or through to it, okay? Because the hostage will die. Now, I'm not saying you can't use Fuze on those matches, because I use Fuze on hostage rescue matches too, but be careful with them. I never put one, because I'll use Fuze a lot because I like the AK-12. I'll use Fuze in hostage rescue rounds, but what I'll do is I'll use cluster charge on rooms adjacent or next to the hostage room, not the room that the hostage is actually in. Okay, guys? Now, his cluster charge can be placed through normal barricades, walls, trapdoors, floors, and even castles' Kevlar panels, which makes him a great counter to castle, okay? They cannot be placed on reinforced walls or trapdoors. Okay, now, there are 2 really good counters for Fuze. One is mute, because Fuze's cluster charges can be jammed by mute signal jammers. Now another great counter is, and the better counter, is Jaeger. Okay, Jaeger's trophy systems can destroy 2 projectiles each. That means 6 of Fuze's cluster charges, so 6 out of 8 if you're just counting up numbers here. Okay, now if Jaeger sets up 2 trophy systems in overlapping ranges and in overlapping lines of sight, he can destroy all 4 the projectiles from 1 cluster grenade. Okay, or cluster charge, my bad, cluster charge. Now this makes Jaeger the most effective counter and the most often counter. Usually if someone uses Fuze a lot around, you'll see someone take up Jaeger. Also, since Fuze is one of the better operators in the game, Jaeger will also be taken a lot, because most times there's always someone playing Fuze on the entire team. Okay, and if there's not, then it's actually, that means it's kind of good actually for the defending team anyways. But now Fuze combos well with a lot of operators, but probably the best one is Twitch. Twitch can send in her shock drone to take care of mute signal jammers and Jaeger's trophy system, so that Fuze can put down his cluster charge and not have to worry about them getting destroyed or anything. Okay, now Fuze also combos extremely well with anyone that has breaching charge, really any breacher, because if you and your entire team use a breaching charge with Fuze's cluster charges, okay, it will induce so much panic and fear into the enemy. It's actually quite funny, because when they see all those detonations going off at the same time, they're gonna flip shit. Okay, and it's really, really fun to watch the havoc that you caused just play out. Okay, now that being said, in summary, Fuze is really aggressive attacker. He's one of the funnest in the game. His cluster charges are pretty useful. They can go through anything. Just don't put him in a room with the hostage. Okay, they can be destroyed by Jaeger's the projectiles can be destroyed by Jaeger's trophy systems. The cluster charges themselves can be jammed by mute signal jammers. And I would go with the AK-12. That's what I suggest. But the 6P41 is also a great choice. The shield really isn't too useful for anything, since it doesn't do anything special other than block bullets, which all the shields do anyways. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this operator guide, and I hope you subscribe to my channel for more awesome Rainbow Six Siege and Call of Duty Black Ops 3 content. Now I'm the Battle Moon, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out, guys.